When you think of a brand, what do you normally think about? Like McDonald's, when you think about McDonald's, the brand, what are you thinking about? Probably the golden arches, that's my guess. And that's what most of us think a brand is. It's the logo. Today we have a special episode where we sit down with Flora Gordon, CEO and founder of Image Agency. Now, I've known Flora for about 10, maybe 12 years now. She is amazing. She is phenomenal at what she does. But today we go really deeper into more what's behind the brand and how, if you don't do it right, what it can cost you. Okay, so grab a paper and a pen and get ready for some real big golden nuggets and takeaways. Plus, just a reminder, if you are feeling alone in your business and isolated, overwhelmed, and really unsure of which way to go, why don't you join us in our next Momentum Mentorship Group program? Contact information is below. Reach out to me. We can get you set up. Just come as our guest. Check it out. Meet some other business owners. You'll enjoy it. You'll learn something, and you might even get some accountability. Enjoy this episode. Hi, I'm Marshall Stern, and I've spent over 35 years leading and growing multiple small businesses. I know firsthand the struggles of entrepreneurship, feeling isolated, lonely, overwhelmed, and feeling like you have to do it all by yourself. I've been through multiple recessions, and I have felt the highs and the lows. I've been there, and I get it. This podcast is here to change that. Every week, I will bring you straight talking advice, real-world strategies, and honest conversations about what it takes to succeed in business without the fluff, the gimmicks, or the sugarcoating. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress, then you are in the right place. This is the Stern Truth. All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Stern Truth, Business Unfiltered. And today I have the pleasure to introduce you to Flora Gordon, someone that I have known for 13 years, I think, something like that. I don't know. Flora, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. And I agree with your calculation, Marshall. 12, 13 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah. B&I.
Yeah.
That's where it all started. Tell us a little bit about who Flora is, what you do, your business, so on and so forth.
Yeah, thanks. So I have been creative since I was a little kid. Definitely can find some little books I drew in as a child, and I was always drawing and things like that. So it's pretty natural that I became a graphic designer, and now I'm a branding specialist and creative director. So I help companies dramatically increase their perceived value through branding and strategy. And I also create accessible publications with features for readability to serve audiences with barriers to reading.
I did not know that part. The first part,
Ah.
not the second part. So how did you get into this whole world of marketing and design and branding?
Because I always knew that I wanted to do something creative, but when I went to art school, when I went to Emily Carr in the first year, I did the foundation program, which is a great way to sample different classes and courses and future streams of study and streams of work. And when I took a design class because I was thinking, oh yeah, if I take a design class, I'll be better at arranging my portfolio and just have a polished eye for how I present my artwork. And what turned out happening was I just loved design right away, and I really enjoyed the intersection between business, marketing, and design, and having very practical applications for what I was doing, specific problems to solve. So as soon as I started taking that class, I realized, wow, this is where I want to go. I'm not really visioning my work being in an art gallery as often as I'm thinking about people using things I designed on a regular everyday basis.
Okay, so you have that kind of training.
Hmm.
Let's just delve right into the stern truth about entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
Like, tell me the stern truth, the good, the bad, the ugly.
I will tell you, when I was trying to get into art school, I was really, really affected by the sort of rumors going around that I'm sure this is still happening in high school. I'm sure that people say like have a lot of anecdotal information about what it takes to get into a particular institution. Uh, get into this university or that university. I mean, there are the marks, but if there's anything that's more subjective, people had all sorts of, comments. Oh, this person who's so good didn't get in, and this person, it took them this many tries, like all of that sort of, like the rumor mill. I don't know what to call it, but I feel like right now, with how much online information expanded, there might be more clear parameters and rules. But back then, I was just taking all of that information to heart. And the same thing happened when I was finishing my degree at Emily Carr. It was like, it's going to take this and this to go out in the workforce. And all these people from last year didn't get a job. And, oh, I saw so and so and they're so good. And they only have work 1 day a week or something like that. I would hear those things, and I'm a fairly sensitive person, and I had terrible insomnia and anxiety and depression,
Mm.
and I couldn't even make anything because I was feeling so much pressure that everything I was doing was turning into garbage. So it was blocking me
Yeah.
just from being functional in any way, like my emotions.
So how did you get into this world of entrepreneurship to start having your own business, your own agency?
I feel really lucky that I have an aunt who had her own business for years and years. So I feel like seeing someone else doing their own thing was really encouraging. So even when I had my 9 to 5 jobs and internships and things like that, I did get a lot of work in my field, and I was really fortunate. I always did my own projects after hours, be it like some design projects for a company that did not compete with my day job. So often people would offer me freelance work, and I was really grateful, and I try to do my best possible job. Or maybe it was like walking dogs sometimes, or different things like that, where I could make extra money and build confidence. And I was also doing some volunteer work as well, and I made some good contacts that way.
And what year, let's go back, what year, when did you launch your agency?
I feel like I formally launched it just over 10 years ago,
Okay.
but I was doing freelance work since 2005.
Hmm. So when I met you at BNI, maybe
Yeah,
were you on your own at that point, or were you still,
yeah,
oh, you were, okay.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so maybe it was 12 years ago then. But yeah, I had left my kind of 9 to 5 job as
Right.
an in-house designer. And I thought, okay, this is kind of the time because I'm thinking it back then. I'm like, I don't have a family, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have dependents, I don't have a huge student loan or something like that. So if I'm gonna take a risk, it's the big risk for anyone who's listening,
Yeah.
is that you're not getting that regular paycheck. And then you're also responsible for things like your own taxes and your own prescriptions and whatnot. Like someone else is really looking after you when you're at a job and you might not realize it.
Yeah. Imagine then tack on kids, private school if you choose, and a university,
Yeah.
or then as we get older, aging parents and so on and so forth,
Hmm.
just responsibility, mortgages, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So I felt like things were fairly under control in terms of the costs in my world. So
Yeah.
I felt confident that if I started a business, one reason I was confident was because I already had these freelance clients that I would see after hours. So I thought, okay, I can send them a message and say, hey, I have more availability. No
Mm.
pressure to send me more work. It's not like that, but I do have more availability.
Right. So what would you, okay, so we met at BNI.
Yeah.
I think we reconnected many years later.
Yes.
We might have followed each other on Facebook and LinkedIn, that sort of thing. When it comes to business owners, entrepreneurs, and this is not like saying this networking group is for that or BNI or whatever.
For sure.
When it comes to networking, what has worked for you? I'm curious.
Yeah, I feel that similarly, some people will put up a website and then think that people will just go to that website. I think some people think they're going to go to one networking event. They'll just drop into one thing, one event, one thing that's happening, meet a few people. They don't follow up. They don't, you know, take the time to notice what other people are up to legitimately help them. And it's like, you have to it's like an animal you have to feed or something. You have to put effort into it. You have to come prepared. For instance, sometimes I've gone to networking events and it's been a time period where I've had so many deadlines. Like just there's so many deadlines stacking up. Someone on my team is away perhaps. And I'm thinking people are gonna want to help me with something, so I better have something that they can help me with if they want to,
Mhm.
because I can't really take work on right now. So what could I ask of them if they're offering to help me with something? What's an area? Am I looking for an introduction to someone, or am I looking for an online testimonial or like a volunteer opportunity? But yeah, clearly knowing what you're looking for and clearly and helping people without some kind of agenda behind it. For instance, a lot of people want to sit down and say, hey, when I hire a branding specialist or a designer, like what should my expectations be? And I'm happy to explain those. You
Mhm.
know, should they be expecting to get certain kinds of files or certain kinds of deliverables or things like that? So be prepared to know what's going on in your industry and go to multiple events and choosing what events you go to. For instance, if you go to an event that's all people in your exact profession, you're going to do a particular kind of networking, or you'll meet like, hey, I don't like designing this. That's perfect. You do. Great. But what about being the only branding person at an event for mortgage brokers?
Right. Yeah, there's a difference between the industry specific, where you're talking shop, you
Hmm.
know, versus where there might actually be potential clients. And
Yes,
especially like a BNI where you are the only branding person if you have that seat, because that's the way BNI works.
precisely.
But
Yeah,
again, for like BNI, it has to be the right fit. So you has to be
exactly.
either your people need to be there or you're just building your network and those people have people that might be a fit.
Exactly. And finding like the people in the related professions, which they call power teams,
Right.
that all that are happy to work together,
Yeah,
have like a similar working.
that's a
Yes.
newer thing. The power teams is a newer thing. That wasn't around
Yeah.
back in the day, I don't think. That's a good idea though.
Yeah.
Power teams. What has been your biggest or one of your biggest challenges running your own business?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest challenges is that I have some health issues, and it can be really hard to wake up feeling like a piece of garbage and have the motivation to work really hard and not only get your work done, but be proactive. And on days when if I was an office worker, I like this definitely qualifies for a sick day. I'll make sure that all my
Mhm.
files are on the server and that I check for an urgent email, but I am like, yeah, no one gives you sick time when you are self-employed and being having like chronic illness or ongoing challenges. Yeah, and for instance, also many self-employed people don't have a sort like the health benefits. Like someone might have a partner who does or be playing into their own plan, but
Mhm.
it's sort of a hit to health and wellness. I mean, it balances out because you can make your own schedule and say, I'm going to take a walk at this time of day, which I find super helpful, super useful.
So along those lines, because I know people that I coach and mentor and
Hmm.
just probably even had on the show
Hmm.
that are listening, most of us start in business, in our own business for what we call that freedom word, right? Whether it's
Hmm.
freedom of financial freedom or freedom of time. But what ends up happening, I love what you said, because what ends up happening, and maybe your health issues have forced you to understand that. Because
Hmm.
what ends up happening for so many people is they have no freedom of time, right? Entrepreneurs or small business owners, and they allow themselves to become what I call the employee of their own business. And they're just in it nonstop, working 16, 17, 18 hours a day. And they don't
Yes.
take that opportunity to go for the walk because they're constantly stuck with client deadlines and they feel like they have to get all that busy work done. And then they forget about the why they started their business in the first place, which probably was some sort of freedom. But
Completely. So, yeah, exactly. They end up being captive in their own business and not being able to look after each other or themselves. And that's totally happened to me. And one suggestion, if I can make it, is
Yeah,
to like
yep.
take a really good look about at what parts of your business you can scale. I'm going to give an example. There are tons of very talented branding people out there, or say designers who have a keen sense of branding. And I'm very lucky to have an amazing team working with me. But of all my offerings, I find branding the hardest thing to scale. Like, if I say I'm growing my company, I have 5 branding projects, I'd like someone else working with me to take over 2 of them. They would work directly with the client. I find that to be harder to scale. That's just me giving an example. So, are there services, for instance, with the document design, we have like a proprietary process that I came up with for that, where I am doing certain parts and overseeing certain parts, and I have quality control and things like that, but I am not in those documents every single day. So I know that I can take more of those projects, and so I will actually promote those projects more.
Because you could scale more with that rather than the branding per se itself.
Exactly, exactly. And one reason, like I used to have a photography business, like an event photography business, which is really hard to do when you're chronically ill. But I knew that people expected me at the event photo shoots and events. I knew if I sent someone else, they might even be a better photographer than me,
Hmm.
but they're expecting me, and I would know who all the VIP people are. I would be familiar with what was going to happen when, because we'd have these events that would recur. And I didn't find photography to be a particularly scalable business. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people that do it, but I didn't see that as a clear path. So I think people should look at everything they offer and say, well, maybe at the times where it looks like I'm going to be busy in the next season, let me um, point people towards like some of my self-serve options or some of my digital products or some aspects that other people in my team are supporting so that I can grow, but it is not all dependent on me.
So, what would you suggest then? And we're talking about building a team. So, people are listening to this episode and they're whatever their business is. They could be a landscaper, right? Although
Yeah.
it's summertime, as I record this, they're probably out there doing the work because
Yes.
the weather's nice, at least here
Yeah.
on the West Coast, which is nice. Um, how do you find the part in order to scale? So we're not in it being the employee doing everything ourselves.
Yes.
How did you figure out maybe like, did you have to let go a bit of control, like bringing people on your team and they do some of the work, especially if they're client facing? Like,
Yes, and I still do most of the client-facing work in particular, but if we could go into those at the landscaping example for sure. Like maybe the main landscaper business owner knows how to do the estimating and design the garden. But once they've done that, the regular maintenance of trimming hedges and lighting and mowing the lawn and watering and like replanting certain things, those are things that they could have recorded in standard operating procedures.
great
S-
point.
So,
But
thank you. Yeah.
but what if they're thinking no one can do it? This could be any business, your
Yeah,
business,
yeah.
my business. No one can do it as good as I can. I don't trust people.
Yeah, that's a really common place people get stuck.
Yeah.
And I do think yeah, they're gonna have to think, yeah, they might have to have a test. They might have to hire someone on their team to do it at their property. Or like one of their longtime customers is practically friends and family at this point. Hey, can we do a trial with this person?
Mhm.
Can we see um yeah, can we give this a try?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it all always goes back, and this is what I suggest to my clients as well. Like it always goes back to because we forget. Many of us forget why. So I'm all about the why and the what. Like why you
Mhm.
do, what you want to create 2, 3, 4 years down the road, but also the why, the deeper
Mm,
why. Why did you start? And it
yes.
goes back to that question for a lot of people. They say, "Well, I started because and I'm not talking to people who during the pandemic lost a job and they started their own thing or whatever, but a lot of people started business for the freedom,
Exactly.
be their own boss, right? And we forget that. And then they get stuck doing the work. And they seem to be, look, I mean, the one thing that holds most of us back is that 6 inches between our ears,
Yes,
right?
exactly. And not thinking anyone else is capable of helping us.
And not exactly.
So if
But
that's truly the case, I would promote those services.
yeah, yeah,
And I would promote like the maintenance part that other people can help with. And I would create SOPs with videos and transcripts and links and checklists. And but I think you have to give people an opportunity to learn. Like they might become really good. And one of Martha Stewart's business books, she talks about being receptive to creative ideas from people working for you. And she talks about areas where you can be creative. Like
mhm.
you can't be creative in the health and safety and like you're working at a juice bar and the hand washing, like
That's the way you have to do certain
you
things.
have to
Yeah,
do those. Yeah.
yeah,
But maybe someone comes up with a new flavor you want, or a better way to open at the beginning of the day,
yeah.
uh, or a different way to slice the fruit, something. If you've created this world where you are the only person that can do certain tasks, I doubt your staff are going to come to you and say, "Hey, I have this idea," because you've created this sort of holier than thou persona. And you're not going to seem receptive to something that could uh, really increase productivity. Other people are gonna who are customer facing all day are gonna hear um, are they gonna have another perspective from dealing with people on the front line?
No, 100%. And the one thing, I mean, it's all about leadership, right? And most small business owners I find don't see themselves as leaders. They see
Mm,
themselves as business operators. They
yes.
they buy themselves a job. It's like the whole E-Myth thing, right? They become the
Hmm.
technician. They just do. They're
Yes.
in it, doing it, doing it, doing it. And it's amazing what happens when you actually do let go a little bit and
Yes.
you do empower, not delegate, but you empower. You hire a team or even subcontractors, and you empower other people, and you ask and you get them involved, have them buy into your vision and be
Yes.
part of the team, part of the bigger picture. One of my favorite books, I don't know if we've talked about this before, is local guy, um, WTF, Willing to Fail. I don't know if you've read the
Oh yeah.
Brian
I
Scudamore.
haven't, but it sounds really good. Oh
It's a
yes. Okay. Yeah.
the 1-800 got drunk
Yes. He's
story.
amazing.
Well, it's his story, but about 1-800, and it's all about people. And he says in the book, he would never have gotten, or he wouldn't, 1-800 and his whole company as a whole would be nowhere near as successful if it wasn't for the people on his team.
Oh yeah. Completely.
And he talks about the mistakes along the way and maybe hiring the wrong people and the wrong leadership, but it's all about bringing people in from the start, from his painted picture, bringing people on your team that were smarter,
Yeah.
better in areas that he wasn't in, and helped him. He knew the what, he knew the vision. That's what leaders do,
Yeah.
but he wasn't sure about the how. And sometimes we as business owners think we have to be the how people. It's our business. We got to figure out the how. And sometimes, whether it's a coach or a mentor or someone on your team, reach out to them. They can help with the how.
That's awesome. And I've definitely got to get that book on Audible.
Yeah. It's a good one
Yeah.
on Audible because he narrates it. It's very good. It's a good listen to.
Oh, amazing. But yeah, if people just underestimate the capabilities of others, like I go out and specifically hire for skills I don't have. Like I'll admit, I used to be quite good at drawing and I'm out of practice now. But even when I was, it was pretty labored for me. And I sort of got to a point with logo design that was like, I can have the best idea on paper, and then if I can't get it onto the computer looking great, clients are going to reject it and say it looks unprofessional. And I'm thinking, I
Hmm.
know I've got something good here. Now I need to bring someone with the right expertise in. And now with my branding company, I actually will reach out to artists and say, hey, I want to create something super unique. I want to make something that's the opposite of AI. I want
Yeah.
something very custom for my client that's very cool, maybe using some older technology or manual processes. It just give them
Mhm.
something really rich that they cannot get any other place. And I'm excited to be a zombie feeding off the brains of all the people who help me. And I think that's, the way to go. And then try to get everybody credit for the work that they do. Make sure their name is displayed with the project.
Mhm.
But yeah, you have to be willing to let yourself be surprised. Know that there are skills, like even the smartest person. Like if I was going to be hiring, my next person I would hire would have skills typesetting Chinese and just like
Right.
understand that design aesthetic for different cultures, different languages, things like that.
Okay. So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
You're in the marketing space, the branding, that's
Mm-hmm.
more specific branding, I know, because marketing is very broad. I don't know if we're in a recession, we're in a down
Mm.
economy,
Yeah,
whatever you want to call it. We've been in a down economy for a while. Okay.
completely.
A lot of companies, a lot of business owners, big companies, small companies are starting to panic a bit. Also, with everything going
Mm-hmm.
on with the tariffs and all of
Yes.
that. Okay. So, one of the first things that a lot of companies cut is marketing, any money towards
Completely.
marketing. My question to you is this. What would you say to those entrepreneurs, the ones that have a small business, the people who are listening to this that are not sure they should be spending money now? Now's not the time. Economy, you know what I mean? The economy's
Mm-hmm.
down. I got to be frugal with my money. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should be rebranding. I don't know if I should be doing Facebook ads or Google ads or that kind of all that kind of stuff or hiring a salesperson. What would you say to people who are like a little bit scared, I guess, because of what they hear?
Yeah, I think that they should actually, before they sign on with an agency, I think they need to have a business plan and a plan in place. Like they have to think about their customers. Can their customers afford them anymore? Do you know what I mean? They're dealing with the same thing.
Hmm.
So I think that they should try partnering with marketing company after having made a business plan and maybe a marketing plan. I think they should partner with companies that understand what their budget is and are going to work with it. So, for instance, maybe they need to invest some money now, but they're going to get some sort of things they can maintain themselves. They're go Yeah, like maybe they are going to get some templates that they can maintain themselves. So understand you're not going to get as much and it's going to take away from the time operating your business. But if you truly cannot afford someone for marketing, I think they should also take a look at who their audience is. For instance, like we're not getting into politics here, but like we're not going to have as many international students coming in. So if your target market, international students, you're going to have to change the direction of where you're aiming your campaigns. So for instance, marketing people, are you still going after solopreneurs? Because I really like to target companies that are big enough to have a marketing budget. And even if that budget shrinks, they still know that they have to set aside a certain amount of money. So with solopreneurs, they don't have like a board of directors
Right.
that they, and a sounding board to say, hey, the quality of your marketing materials is speaking to your audience before they read a word, and they're deciding whether they're going to buy your product or the Amazon dupe, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. No, that's well said. And I think I always say, and I think we just have to be, as business owners, especially small business owners, probably big as well. We just need to be smarter with where we put our money, right? I think
Exactly.
they always say, and it's historically in down economies, especially recessions, some of the strongest companies are built out of that. And
Exactly.
so it is an opportunity as well for, I don't care who you are. I mean, yes, there has to be a market. So if your market is international students, for example, then you might need to change your business model a little bit.
Yes. Or in
Okay.
Canada, at least with
In
with what
Canada.
what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably in the US as well
Oh yeah.
with immigration,
Oh, for sure. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Pardon me. Good point.
you know. So having saying that, now is the time. but strategically, like bringing on someone like yourself, or it might
Mm.
be a coach or a mentor or someone else in a marketing field or um, a business strategist, someone who can help you. Look, there's not people out there. As long as you have a good product,
Yes.
a product, not just a good product, but a product obviously that people want or a service that people want, there are going to be a lot of people who do panic and do shut down. They might shut up too, right? Shop. They'll close down shop because they're panicking and or they can't make ends meet. So a lot of people think, especially since the pandemic, I don't know if you found this in your networking
Mm.
circles, there are a lot of people who started a business and just in the last year or two, a lot I've seen more and more people close them down and get a job again.
Completely. And one thing I want to mention though about people who do close down their business or things like that, back when I was earlier in the episode, when I was talking about those sort of rumors and anecdotal comments people were making about getting into university. So when you see someone close their business and take a job or make some kind of change like that, it doesn't actually mean that their business really failed and that your business is going to fail too. Like, I think people see this stuff happening, and I think a lot of it comes down to commercial lease space. For those who aren't
Oh,
aware, we have really strict laws in Canada about how much we can. So you're renting an apartment, and it can only increase a certain amount per year. But in the world of commercial real estate, if you're renting, you know, an ice cream
oh,
shop space, they can actually really change that contract and make it so that you would have to be scooping all day and all night, even in the winter, right?
part of the reason I sold my sign company 2 years ago, what
Hmm.
what really took me over the edge, what really got
Hmm.
me to do it was just that. My lease was coming up, and a year from then,
Hmm.
so I got out a year before, but my property manager even said to me, "It's doubled. When you come to resign, go to resign, your lease will double."
Yep.
And
And that's so hard,
it
right?
was significant, right?
Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it for sure. But there are a lot of people also who don't have, were fortunate. They work remotely, they work from home, so they don't have that
Yes,
commercial space.
completely.
But now, yeah, I think it's a matter of just knowing what you want. And now I think it is a good opportunity. It is a good time because there will be a lot of people who are already backing away from some marketing, from whether it's relaunching a website or doing a campaign. And I think there's an opportunity for people, if you do it the right way, strategically and in line with where you want to take your business, there are opportunities there to capture some market share. And that's traditionally been the case in down economies.
For sure. So I like people to think about if they were to get branding or other marketing or professional services, like they're getting an awesome business coach like you, uh, how many sales, like how many of their average sales, is it going to take to recoup their money? Give that some thought. I mean, there are different formulas, whether you're doing a gross or net or what.
Mhm.
I'm not going to get into that, but for instance, if you have someone who's been struggling to do DIY branding for 6 months and they're trying to name their company and they've already bought 6 URLs and then they find out they can't trademark them and the business name and that it won't
Yeah.
work and someone else is sending them letters and they're going to need to get a lawyer. Like at what point have you just got to say stop, I need professional assistance with this. uh, DIY tools aren't cutting it for me, and I'm just not. I'm stopping myself from moving forward. I've just hit a ceiling.
You make up a really, really, really great point. There are so many people out there that try to DIY it is they're coming from a place of scarcity. They can't afford
Yes.
it, right? I did one of my early episodes. I will hire a brand strategist when. I will hire
When?
a marketing when. When what? Oh, when I have enough money. Well, when will that be? It's a catch 22, right?
Yes.
So, but there's the cost, that lost opportunity, that opportunity cost. It's costing you DIYing it, you said, for 6 months
Yep.
or 6 weeks where you could just hire someone.
Exactly. So if you've got someone takes care of that for you, they get it 90% of the way, two of you polish it up at the end. Say in that time, because you feel confident, you go to more marketing events. So you go to more networking, you feel like you can contact, you can cold call people because they know if they look you up, they're going to be impressed with what they see. And what if you make four more sales because of that? So one thing I'm doing in my business with my branding is if I do not think I can move the needle for you, if I don't think my services are going to make a difference, I don't take the client.
Mm,
So I've had some people approach me thinking they've come up with some way to create some passive income and they need my services. And I let them know not a bunch of costs that I don't think they've thought of because like we talked about, you can't just put up a website and expect people to go
yeah,
to it and find it. It's not necessarily going to go viral. Like chances are the opposite.
yeah,
So if I don't think I can help them, I don't take the project. So, and I mean, it took me some time to get to a point where I had enough business where I could do that because I have had to take work in the past when I didn't have enough money to pay my bills, and I didn't feel that kind of confidence that I do now.
right.
But yeah, if I'm not the person, for instance, I don't know much about the sports world, so I'm not going to be the ideal person for branding in the sports world. But if I feel like someone's explained their business to me and it seems like one of those scenarios where the dragons on Dragon's Den or the sharks on Shark Tank are thing, it's going to take so much for people to just understand this. It's so different. I think it's going to take quite a bit of, media buying, for
Yeah,
instance. Like you can have a pretty reasonable design and advertising bill and sink a lot of money into media buying. So that would be TV ads,
right.
ads before a movie, radio ads, things like that. And those can be really valuable, but you have to do that right because if you don't work with someone who's going to do a geographic analysis and tell you how other people in your field performed and what time of day are your customers up and things like that, you can just be uh, sinking triple, quadruple digits into that.
Yeah, yeah. I see that, and it does happen a lot.
Hmm.
And that, and what we talked about earlier, people just wasting away time. I mean, I cannot believe it's almost the end of the first half of the year as we record
Yeah,
this, right? I mean,
exactly.
it was just the holidays. It was just January 1st. It was just summer, like last year.
Yes.
It goes
Yeah.
faster. As also the older we get, it goes faster. Okay, final question
Oh, yeah.
before we wrap up. What is one, this is from my father, my late father. He always
Oh,
said,
yeah.
one golden nugget. If you can get one golden nugget out of a seminar, the podcasts weren't around in the 80s, but that kind of stuff. What would be one golden nugget you could share with our listeners? Your experience, maybe people are struggling in their business, they're not sure what the next step should be. Just general golden nugget.
I think everything we're going through with business, possibly with the exception of some of the new challenges we have with new technology, everything you're going through, someone else has gone through it as well. So the idea that you're going to lock yourself in your office all weekend and figure it out on your own, um, without the help of professionals. If you think about that mentality, just pause with that for 1 second, because the likely thing is that the business this person's coming up with, they're going to want people to pay them for their expertise and products and services, but they have this mindset that they won't spend. They're actually creating this loop where it's like, I want to work with people who value experts and high quality, but I don't fundamentally value them myself, nor do I believe in my business. So it can be very powerful to help your competition to, like if you're a professional photographer, pay another photographer to come take photos of your
Hmm.
family or your event. You can see how their pricing works, what they do, but
Hmm.
you're also contributing to this idea of paying for expertise because that's what you want people to do when they hire you.
Yeah.
I hope I'm making some sense with that. It's a little bit roundabout, but
Yeah. No, no, I get it. No, yeah. No, it's awesome. It's great. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot there. There's a
mhm,
lot that I think people need to hear, and I hope, and I'm sure, and I'd love to hear people's comments from this episode, some takeaways,
mhm.
because I've taken notes and there's so much there. of
Oh,
different gold nuggets throughout. And one of the biggest ones is really, I think, just for me, and I see it way too much, is people just, whether it's a lack of belief in themselves
yes.
or a lack of faith in others,
Yeah,
belief in others, they're wasting time. Stop. And
completely.
as you said, stop DIYing it. Right? We overthink, we DIY, we think we can do it, we don't need someone else.
Yeah.
We could do it better. No one can do it like us. That whole mindset
Yeah.
of like, and this is a stereotyping. This is a male mindset. I don't need
Mm.
a map. I can figure it out.
Okay. Yeah.
You know
I
what?
can solve it.
Maybe you can. Maybe you can lock yourself into your office for the weekend or go on a retreat, a 2-day retreat and figure it out by yourself. But why do you want to?
Completely. Yeah.
It's so much better when we have a team. It's so much better when we have resources. It's so much better when we have just going to networking events and meeting people. Like I've met you, whatever it was, 12, 13 years ago. It's so much
Yeah.
better to have people in your circle, in your inner circle, who, even if it's just a phone call or a text message, right? Or can help you on this project or collaborate on that project. Just goes by faster and we're not getting any younger. None of us are.
Completely. And like making a distinction between so DIY, like you want to do some little decor in your own home versus something like your business is your livelihood. Like you don't want to be going around with an unsecured website that is gonna, it's gonna be spamming your customers or, uh, yeah, there are going to be viruses on your computer or things like that. There's just areas where DIY is not going to work. And if you want to get to that next stage, if you want to be like Brian, uh,
Yeah.
he has a huge team behind him and he's done absolutely brilliant work. And he obviously had to put faith in people. And I'm so pleased that you recommended that book. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really good book for those of you listening, watching. I listen. Turning it back to personal,
Yeah.
if someone needs a heart surgery, they ain't
Yes.
DIYing it.
Completely.
They're bringing in the experts, right? They don't even think about, oh, I'm going to perform my own heart surgery to save some money or save some time. No,
Completely.
you bring someone on, and that's the same thing, and that's I think one of the biggest. I think honestly, that's one of the biggest messages I hope to have on a weekly basis for our listeners. And I'll hear it from myself or from other guests like yourself, just in different
Hmm.
ways. Don't do this alone.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And there's just so much richness from collaboration, and
Yeah.
yeah, you end up with more than you thought was possible.
Well, to wrap it up, even like a year ago, right? It's been a
Yeah,
little over a year ago. We had the
yeah.
Entrepreneurial Growth Summit, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Um, we could have ran it, and we could have had Ivana, who is my co-group admin person. We run the group together. The two of us could have run the event. The two of us could spoke all day. We had the 45 people there. It could have just been the two of us. But we brought on people, amazing people like you, collaborated with
Oh,
people like
thank
you
you.
who came and shared your journey, shared your knowledge, and not not only did we get more from it, and it was just a richer event,
Yeah.
and everyone who participated and came to the event got so much more because it wasn't just about us. It was about everyone. Like it takes a village, and it was the group. And I think that's what it's all about. And that's why great organizations like BNI exist and other networking
Hmm.
organizations.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so anyways, I could talk forever with you.
Thanks so much for having me and the opportunity.
Thank you. And if people want to get in touch with you,
Yeah, so add me on LinkedIn under Flora Gordon, and maybe if you don't mind including in the
yep,
note that you heard me on the podcast or how we know each other, just because of the volume of requests that I take,
yeah,
that
perfect.
would be a great place to connect.
LinkedIn, okay. And I'll put that in the show notes as well.
Perfect.
All right, everyone. Thank you, Flora. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Marshall. Have an
And
awesome day.
you too. And thank you, everyone. And we'll see you again next week on another episode of The Stern Truth. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Stern Truth. If you found today's episode helpful, we would love to hear from you. Please like, share, and leave us a review. Also, if you'd like to be a guest in an upcoming episode or join us in one of our Momentum Accountability Group sessions, simply email me to marshall@marshallstern.com. That's marciastern.net. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep pushing forward and leading with confidence.